Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside 50. I'm Troy Luff.
And I'm Stephen Lord. Well, Luffy, the Swans have certainly silenced their critics. After winning only 2 of 8 games, they've come out and thumped the Brisbane Lions by 61 points and earned themselves a home final.
Yes, Steve, it was the Swans' little men that did the job for them. Eamon Buchanan and Jude Bolton were fantastic. Jared Moore and Patrick Vespremi, just the first year, they kicked 4 goals apiece for the Swans.
And another great effort by Lewis Roberts-Thompson. He kept Jonathan Brown goalless. Talking about Jonathan Brown, the Pies have offered him $1 million to go there next year.
$1 million to play football, I wouldn't mind that. Big one this weekend, Swans versus North Melbourne, elimination final, Saturday night at Olympic Park. Swans would have to be favourites, wouldn't they?
I think they start favourites, but it was a draw last time round in round 6, so I think it's going to be an absolute beauty and a selection dilemma for the Swans.
Yes, they've got Adam Goods, Michael O'Loughlin and Ryan O'Keefe that should be available for the game. And the North Melbourne Kangaroos, they were thumped by Port Adelaide by 50-odd points on the weekend.
Yeah, I think the home ground and the finals experience will mean Swans too strong.
Lance Franklin kicked his 100th goal on the weekend, the first player to do so since 1998 when Tony Lockett did it in the home and away season. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, it was very exciting, Luffy. The first Indigenous player to kick 100 goals, and he also wrapped up the Coleman medal. But what a fantastic spectacle it was to see all the fans run on the ground.
Oh look, the league said they were going to try and stop them, fine them, they had security guards, but really they were never going to stop thousands of people doing it. They even opened the gates to let them on the field. I've watched that footage 10 times. It was so exciting. But Franklin, other than kicking 100 goals this year, he also kicked 84 behinds. Could have done this weeks ago. He kicked 11 bags of 5 or more and a season best of 9, round 11 against Essendon.
Yeah, he's an incredible player. But what about the Hawks flooding back to stop Favola from getting his 100? What are your thoughts on that, Luffy?
Look, I thought it was pretty unfair. The game was well and truly over. Hawthorn were in front by 70 points. Favola stuck on 99. Coach Alistair Clarkson had 4 players at times standing in front of him, not letting him do it. Just give him the ball. Would have gone down in history.
Yeah, it was a bad effort, I think, from Hawthorn. They've got bigger things to worry about, though. Big game against the Bulldogs this week.
Well, the Bulldogs, they really are struggling for form. They've won just 2 games from their past 7. And after the weekend, getting beaten by Adelaide, I think it's going to be tough for them against the Hawks on Friday night.
Yeah, I think the Hawks, far too much firepower up forward. Not just Franklin, but they've also got Roughhead, Rioli, too strong, and a very strong midfield as well.
Yes, well, Shane Crawford comes back this week, so it's definitely the Hawks for me. Now for a little bit of controversy, Steve-O. There was a goal awarded to Jason Paul-Pleasure on the weekend when the Crows played the Bulldogs that was clearly a behind. Jason Ackermanis hit the ball through the goals. The umpires had a bit of a discussion. In the end, they awarded the goal. Now, Steve-O, is it time we had more than one goal umpire?
Yeah, Luffy, it was a terrible decision. I think they really need to look at bringing additional goal umpires.
Well, look, they have video referees for many other sports to make important decisions. Maybe it's time the AFL looked at that as well.
Yeah, you'd hate to see it affect the result of a grand final. But let's get back to this week's game, Adelaide versus Collingwood.
Yes, over there in Amy Stadium, Pies versus the Crows. I think in front of all the mad screaming Adelaide fans, you've got to think the Crows are going to be favourite to win this one.
How about those West Coast Eagles, Luffy? We've witnessed a very sad demise from a premiership 2 years ago to winning only 4 games this year. And they were absolutely crushed by Geelong on the weekend.
And would you believe, Steve-O, the scores were level at quarter time, and then Geelong, they stepped up the pace. They had a possession count of 451 to just 215 for the West Coast Eagles. But look, they have had some injury problems this year, Steve-O.
Yeah, only 24 players to choose from on the weekend, and they're about to lose one more, you'd think. Daniel Kerr now on the market.
Yes, the Eagles have come out and said that they want 2 high-priority draft picks for him. Now, John Worsfold says he's pretty confident he's going to stay, but there are a lot of teams interested in picking him up.
Yeah, and who can blame them? He's a superstar, and who can blame the Eagles for wanting 2 draft picks?
What an amazing end to the 2008 home and away season. St Kilda needed to win by 95 points or more against Essendon to secure a top 4 spot, and they did it and did it well. They won by 108 points, ended up finishing 4th, now have the double chance, Steve-O.
It was a remarkable effort by the Saints to make the top 4. They looked down and out halfway through the season, struggling even to make the top 8. And they pipped Adelaide by 0.8% to make the top 4 spot.
Yes, and what an amazing second half they had. 13 goals to 3 against the Bombers. Stephen Mill kicked 6 of his 7 goals. Ross Lyon, their coach, came out and said that he didn't even think until 3/4 time they were ever a chance to get the top 4 spot. But they're going to need that and a lot more if they're any chance against Geelong this Sunday.
Yeah, the Cats in top form. They've got a clean sheet with injury. And the Saints now without Sean Dempster, who did an ACL on the weekend.
Yeah, a bit of bad luck for Sean. He's played 19 games. But Geelong, though, the form they have been in this year, they've got two players who have the highest possession count, Jimmy Bartell, Joel Corey. They've also got the highest amount of tackles of any side and the best defence. I can't see anyone beating Geelong, let alone St Kilda this weekend.
That's it for this week on Inside 50. See you next week.